сейчас я вам открою один секрет, который знают не все садоводы. Перед посадкой на дно ямки вы кладете...
Ап! Стой! Тварюга!
Обходи его! Обходи!
Стой!
Он не на мост спер! И солнышек!
What a heartwarming piece. I really, really like this one. I thought it was just compelling and emotional right from the beginning. It's a great story between these two characters. And I like how the apple tree became the symbol for the love between a father and son, and how in the flash forward you can see that love has just grown so big and so deep, with all those apple trees in the foreground. And then it was a really nice touch to have his own grown son eating an apple as well. Really lovely performance by the man who played the father. Hats off to him, and just to everybody who had a role in producing this amazing film.
Hit all the feels, yo. Oh my goodness. It reminded me of Saving Private Ryan, in that, like, the same similar narrative technique of like an object that has like significant meaning, and you crossfade like in jump time, and it has different meanings in different times, and like what that juxtaposition means for the audience, the emotional experience that the audience has when you do that. And overall general vibe, it reminded me a lot of Saving Private Ryan. And I think you did what they did well here. So good job. Steven Spielberg been real quiet since Apple Tree dropped. That's all I'm saying.
I think The Apple Tree was a beautiful father-son story, and how they're on just like these two different stories, and they're meeting each other in the middle. And that kind of is how it is, being a parent and having a child, and telling them certain things and not understanding until much later, and until you two can finally meet each other in the middle. I think it was beautifully written. It was just a beautiful story, and I think the apple, the symbolism that the apple held, as following them throughout the entire piece it was really nice. It was just a really lovely story. Just looking at the relationship between the two, and it was just overall really beautiful, really touching, and I really enjoyed the piece.
Very good, very moving film, you know. It's just very unusual. I've never seen, a dramatic story like this. A guy steals an apple tree and gives it to his son, and it becomes a life lesson. It's odd, but really good, very affecting. This father who clearly has some, things he has to deal with, and has some epiphanies regarding this tree as he's given it to his child, and it ends up being this lifelong lesson to the child. It all started from this thievery. It's really, really, really interesting. The father is truly, clearly a very disturbed character. But then, the ex-wife is clearly, in a state of consternation about him, and clearly angry and frustrated with him. But still, you can, at the very last moment between them, there is some love. And he says, "Can you mulch it?" And she says, "Yes." And there's still some semblance of love there between them. It's very moving, and to see it pay off, at the end. It's a very good ending. But yeah, everybody was great. All the children were fantastic. The main boy was terrific. The kids at the beginning, planting the tree with the old man, they were all, that man was good. The father was astoundingly good. And the ex-wife, and the folks at the end playing the grown-up versions, it was, those two guys at the end were also excellent. Everybody did such a great job. All the performances were true. They rang true. They were very, very clear in the storytelling. Directing was great. Great script, good editing and pacing, good score, wonderful post-production, good coloring. Everything was great about this film. So good luck with it. I hope it gets out there and gets seen.
I think that the filmmaker did a great job with, first, the dynamic between the parents, and how very little was said of consequence, but there was a strong emotional subtext. I think that the film also did a great job of showing how, as parents, we seek to always be more for our children and to try and communicate what we ourselves may not even be sure of or have the most knowledge about. And I think that for me, the heart of the film was how the experiences that we have with our parents and our family, and as a child, can become myth and almost help to develop the sort of lore of our own past and how that affects us to such a great extent in the future.
I thought this was a really sweet piece, definitely endearing. Does a great job at just sort of playing with the symbolism a bit there. The tree, the gardening, and just the perpetuity of life, and it's really really smartly written. There's great performances, just a good cinematography sensibility there too. Just feels very polished, and just definitely worth
I
checking out.
really enjoyed this story, and one of the things that I enjoyed most about it was how everything tied in to what you were seeing. By the time you got to the end of this film, everything was explained about what was happening, because it starts out and you're already on a moving train when it starts out. You're not really sure about what's happening, and all of these questions are answered. I thought that the actors did a fantastic job. I thought that it was beautifully done. And I also loved the sentiment. The father says to the son about caring for this apple tree as if it were a human being. And as that human being grows, it's going to take care of you in return. I just thought that that was a lovely sentiment. And what a great gift to give your child, and what you're teaching them, and how he took care of it. And by the end, what you see, how the end of the story was when, the grown son is standing there with his sons and thinking back about his dad and telling and passing that knowledge on to his son was really cool.
It was so incredibly sweet. I loved the symbolism that really played a role throughout the entire film, and also getting to see the relationship grow between father and son, and then again generation later with that son and then his son. So I really like how that tradition really trickled through, and then just the messaging behind the apple tree saying, this is a symbolism of how a father should show up for a son and how well that he can care for him, and getting to see how that apple tree had blossomed and turned into an entire orchard just goes to show that his wish came true and he was successful in fatherhood, and obviously his memory is cherished by his son, and he gets to pass those lessons along to his own son. So just a really beautiful story and messaging, super heartwarming. Great job.